The cry in the dark. The stars were quiet that night. The broken ship lay half buried under the cold rocks of a strange planet. Smoke rose from the wreck. Inside, metal groaned and wires sparked. Something had crashed hard. It wasn't supposed to happen. In the corner of the ship, behind a broken wall, a small alien girl sat. Her knees were pulled to her chest. Her skin was soft blue, glowing just a little. Her big silver eyes were full of tears. She was shaking. Not from the cold, but from fear. Her name was Luma. She was only 8 years old. Her people had sent her away to escape war. Her mother and father had kissed her goodbye and whispered, "Be brave, little star." But the ship never made it. It fell from the sky like a dying bird. Now Luma was alone. Outside, something walked. Heavy steps, slow. A low growl echoed through the ship. It wasn't human. It wasn't kind. The sound made Luma press her hands over her mouth to stop from crying louder. The monster was hunting. Its claws scratched the floor as it sniffed the air. It had smelled her. It was close now. Luma whispered in her own language. A small prayer. A wish. "Please. Someone help me." The monster came closer. Suddenly, bang! A loud shot. Then another. A deep voice shouted, "Hey, ugly!" The monster roared in pain. Luma covered her ears. She heard heavy boots stomping, metal breaking, and one last scream from the monster before it went silent. Then, silence. Luma didn't dare move. Then a shadow stepped into the room. A tall figure in dark armor holding a large gun. His helmet clicked and hissed as he took it off. A face appeared, tired, scarred, with sharp green eyes. It was a human. He looked at her for a long second, then said in a rough voice, "What the hell are you, kid?" Luma didn't understand his words, but she felt his eyes. He wasn't a monster, not like the others. But he wasn't soft either. The man lowered his gun slightly. "Are you hurt?" he asked again, this time slower. Luma just stared. Then she raised her hand and showed a small cut on her leg. Blood, purple and glowing, was dripping slowly. The man sighed. "Of course," he muttered. "Alien kids always bleeding or crying." He stepped forward. Luma flinched. He stopped. "I'm not gonna hurt you. You scream, though. I throw you to the next monster. Got it?" Luma didn't know what he said, but she nodded. "Great," he said. "Come on." He crouched down and picked her up. She was light. Too light. Bones like a bird's. She trembled in his arms but didn't fight. He walked through the dark halls of the wrecked ship, back toward the outside. The air was cold. The sky above was black, full of strange stars. His camp was not far. A half-buried escape pod with a small fire burning beside it. He placed Luma down near the warmth and sat beside her. He opened a small bag and pulled out a cloth and water. He cleaned her wound, slow but rough. She winced, but said nothing. "You got a name?" he asked. She looked at him, thought for a moment, then pointed to herself. "Luma," she said, soft like a breeze. "Luma, huh?" He nodded. "I'm Jack." He pointed to himself. "Jack." Luma blinked, then tried to say it. Jack? Jack smiled a little. Close enough. He looked up at the dark sky. "What the hell am I doing?" he muttered to himself. "Babysitting aliens now?" Luma followed his eyes. She wondered if her parents were up there, if they were still alive. Jack saw the look in her eyes. He didn't ask anything. Instead, he stood up, grabbed his gun. "Get some sleep, Luma," he said. "You're safe for now." He walked a few steps and looked into the darkness. And in that moment, something far behind them moved. A low growl came again. Not dead, not finished. The monster opened one eye. Shelter, but no safety. The fire cracked softly in the cold wind. Luma sat near it, hugging her knees, eyes staring at the flames like they held the answers to every question in the universe. But the only answer she had was fear. Jack stood with his back to her, watching the shadows of the dead planet. His rifle rested on his shoulder and a half-burnt cigarette hung from his mouth. He didn't trust silence. Not anymore. Behind him, Luma shifted. She looked tired, scared, but not broken. Jack sighed. "Kid," he said without turning. "You're lucky. I hate seeing kids cry." He crouched near the fire and pulled out a small metal can. Rattling inside. Some kind of old military food. Gray, mushy, but warm. He handed it to her. She sniffed it like it might bite her, then slowly took a bite. Her face twitched. Clearly her taste buds were offended, but she didn't complain. "You'll live," Jack said. Barely. Luma didn't understand most of his words, but she smiled. Just a little. Jack looked at her. "You got guts, little alien. You didn't scream back there. That thing should have eaten you in seconds." Luma tilted her head. He pointed to his own chest. "Jack," then pointed to her. "Luma." She nodded. "Luma." Then, she reached into her pocket, pulled out a small round object, glowing faint blue. Jack leaned closer. "What's that?" Luma held it up, pressed a button. A small hologram appeared, fuzzy, broken. It showed her parents. They were smiling, waving, speaking in a soft, musical language. Then the image glitched. The last clear words were "be brave," then static. The hologram vanished. Jack looked away. He'd seen too many final messages. Later that night, Luma was sleeping in the small space between two broken crates, wrapped in Jack's old jacket. Jack sat outside the shelter, eyes still watching the dark. But something was bothering him. That monster from earlier. He'd shot it, burned it, dropped a steel beam on it, and it still moved. "What the hell are you things?" he whispered. Suddenly, a soft voice crackled in his earpiece. "Jack, you alive out there?" Jack froze. "Derek?" he said quietly. "That you?" The voice laughed. "Thought you were dead. Guess cockroaches like you don't die easy." Jack narrowed his eyes. "Why are you on this planet?" "Looking for the girl," Derek said. "Same as you." Jack's blood turned cold. "Stay away from her." "Oh, come on, Jack, you know what she's worth. That alien tech in her blood? People would kill for it. Some already have." Jack took out the earpiece and crushed it under. His boot. He didn't need reminders of who he used to be. The next morning, Luma woke up to find Jack gone. She panicked for a moment, eyes darting, heart racing. But then she saw him outside, digging something from the dirt. A metal box, locked, heavy. She walked up behind him. Jack noticed her. "Morning, space kid." He opened the box. Inside, weapons, maps, and a photo. Jack took it out. A boy. 10, maybe 11. Human. Smiling. Luma pointed to the photo. Jack didn't speak for a while. "That was my son," he said finally. "His name was Max." Luma's smile faded. Jack stood, closed the box. "He died during the first alien raids. I was off-world, came back too late." He looked at her. "I'm not making the same mistake again." They began traveling that afternoon. Jack needed supplies and food, fuel, battery packs. But Luma noticed something strange. The deeper they walked into the ruins of the old city, the stranger the air felt. Not cold, not hot, just wrong, like being watched. She tugged Jack's sleeve. He looked around. Buildings stood like broken bones. Cars were half melted. The sky was dull orange now. Suddenly, a shriek, high-pitched, far away. Then closer. Jack pushed Luma behind a wall. "Gun ready. Stay low," he whispered. From the sky, a creature flew down. 4 wings, no eyes, teeth like glass. It screamed again, scanning the ground with sharp clicks. Then another followed, and another. 3 in total. Luma covered her ears. Jack aimed, but didn't shoot. Too many. Instead, he waited. heart pounding. The creatures circled, then flew off. Silence. Jack let out a long breath. Not just ground monsters now. They moved fast after that, found an old bunker, rusted but secure. Inside, Jack scanned the walls. No signs of movement. Safe, for now. Luma sat on a metal chair, swinging. Her legs. She was drawing on the dusty floor with a small rock. Jack looked over. She was sketching the monster from last night, but this time she added something new. Eyes glowing red. Jack stared. That thing had red eyes. Luma nodded slowly. Then she drew another shape. Bigger. Like a spider. With symbols on its back. Jack's face hardened. He recognized that mark. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat by the door, gun in hand. His radio clicked on again. This time, a new voice. "You've been warned, Jack." Jack tensed. The voice continued. "Return the girl. She's not your problem, she's ours." Jack spoke clearly. "Come take her then." Static. Then silence. Luma opened her eyes across the room. She saw Jack gripping his gun. She saw the fear in his eyes, and she knew the monsters outside weren't the only danger. Humans were hunting her too. Others are watching. The bunker was cold, but not as cold as the air between Jack and Luma that morning. She sat quietly on the floor, drawing again. Strange symbols. Stars. A glowing tree. A circle inside a triangle. Jack didn't ask what they meant. He was too busy checking his gun and thinking about that voice on the radio. "She's not your problem. She's ours." That voice sounded like a soldier. It sounded like a man used to owning things, a collector. The kind of man who saw Luma as a prize, not a person. And Jack had worked for men like that before. Outside, the sky was darker than usual. Clouds swirled like oil in water. And above them something hovered. A drone watching from far above. Jack didn't see it. Luma did. Her silver eyes narrowed, but she said nothing. They packed their gear. Jack handed Luma an old comm device. "Keep this with you," he said. "You hear static? Run. You hear my voice? Run faster." Luma smiled weakly and gave a thumbs up. She understood more now. Her translator was adjusting. So was her heart. She trusted him. That's why it hurt more later. They entered the old industrial sector of the ruined city. Twisted steel towers, dead factories, rusted vehicles covered in ash. It looked like the skeleton of a world that once built dreams, now just bones. Jack stopped. "This place was a weapons lab," he said. "Back during the First War." Luma looked around. "Your war?" "Everyone's war," Jack said. "Aliens, humans, machines. This is where we all tried to kill each other better." They walked deeper. Suddenly, Jack heard something. Boots. Metal. Voices. He raised his hand. Luma froze. They ducked behind an old transport truck. 3 figures appeared down the street, armored, armed, and human. One of them spoke, loud and clear. "Jack, you still good at running?" Jack muttered a curse. "Derek." Derek looked the same. Clean armor, shiny rifle, smug grin. The man hadn't changed. "Why run?" Derek shouted. "Let's talk, Jack. We'll take the kid and you can go back to drinking yourself to death on Mars." Jack stepped out slowly, gun lowered, but ready. "She's not yours," he said. Derek shrugged. "No, she's not. But she ain't yours either. And she's worth a hell of a lot to people who don't care if she cries." From behind him, Luma appeared, brave, but shaking. Derek smiled. "There she is, the golden goose." Jack yelled, "Luma, back!" Bang. Shot cracked the air. Dust flew near Luma's feet. She jumped. Jack fired back. Chaos exploded. Bullets slammed into walls. Sparks flew. Derek's team scattered. Jack grabbed Luma's hand. "Run!" They sprinted through the factory ruins, dodging metal beams and fallen pipes. Luma kept up faster than he expected. Behind them, Derek shouted, "Don't shoot the girl! We need her alive!" But Jack wasn't aiming to wound. He was aiming to kill. They escaped through a maintenance hatch into the underground. Tunnel's dark, wet echoes. Jack lit a flare. The tunnel walls were covered in writing, not human. Luma stopped walking. She touched the symbols. Suddenly, they glowed under her hand. Blue light spread across the wall, forming an ancient map. Stars, gates, names in a lost language. Jack stared, stunned. "What is this?" Luma pointed to herself, then pointed to the glowing center of the map. "You?" Jack said. "You're connected to this?" She nodded. Jack's brain worked fast. "You're not just some alien girl, are you? You're something more." Luma looked sad. She whispered, "Last of seed." Jack didn't fully understand, but he got enough. She wasn't just rare, she was a key. They found a resting spot in a collapsed room filled with strange stone structures. Luma sat near a glowing pillar. Jack stayed quiet, processing what he'd seen. Then he heard a beep, his old ID chip. He took it out. A message was waiting, from someone very high up. "Jack, surrender the girl. In exchange, you'll be cleared, paid, and returned to Earth. You've earned this." Jack stared at the message. For a moment, a very small moment, he thought about it. Then he looked at Luma, sleeping, peaceful. No, he wasn't that man anymore. He deleted the message. But Luma wasn't asleep. She had seen the message too. Her translator whispered it to her, and now? She wasn't sure. Could she trust him? Hours later, they climbed back to the surface through a service tunnel and found themselves on a broken bridge. Dust blew hard. Clouds rolled in. In the distance, a ship was landing. Big, black, private, Derek. They were being surrounded. Jack cursed again. "He's calling in everyone." They turned back, only to see a sniper laser dot floating on Jack's chest. Click. He froze. A voice behind him. "Cold female. Hello, Jack." He turned slowly. A woman in a dark red exosuit, helmet off, eyes like knives. She smiled like a predator. "Did you really think we wouldn't find you?" Jack recognized her. Commander Vera. Mercenary. Ruthless. Smart. Dangerous. Vera looked at Luma. My, you're even prettier than the photos." Luma stood behind Jack, trembling. Vera raised a hand. "Don't worry, little one, I won't hurt you. I'm just going to take you apart piece by piece and carefully." Jack growled. "Touch her and you'll lose that smile." Vera laughed. "Still playing hero? Thought you'd grow out of that?" Her soldiers stepped forward. Jack reached slowly for his grenade. Boom! A sudden explosion tore through the bridge. Dust, fire, screams. From the smoke, the ground cracked open. Something enormous moved below. A loud, ancient roar filled the air. Jack grabbed Luma and ran as the bridge began to collapse. Vera screamed, "Get them! Get them!" But it was too late. Jack and Luma jumped, fell into the darkness below. They landed hard in a deep cavern beneath the bridge, alive but bruised. Jack sat up. What was that?" Luma stood, looking at a strange object ahead. A giant door, covered in alien writing, glowing. She walked up to it, pressed her hand to the center. It lit up. A voice, not hers, echoed in the chamber. "Welcome, Seed Bearer. Time is running out." Jack stared at her, wide-eyed. "What are you?" Luma turned, eyes glowing, hair floating. "I don't know," she said. But the door began to open, and something waited on the other side. The signal and the snare. The door hissed as it opened, steam pouring out from ancient cracks. Jack raised his rifle. Luma stepped forward, her glowing, hand still on the alien panel. Beyond the door was silence. A room, massive and round. Its walls shimmered with light that moved like water. Strange machines pulsed gently, Floating crystals hummed with power. Everything felt alive. Jack stepped in cautiously. Luma walked like she'd been here before. She hadn't, but something in her bones recognized this place. Looks like an alien temple, Jack muttered. Or a giant power station. Luma moved toward a platform. In the center, symbols floated in the air. Her silver eyes locked onto them. Suddenly her body jerked. Jack jumped. "Luma!" Her hands twitched, eyes rolled back, and her voice changed. It was deeper, echoing, not hers. Seedbearer confirmed. Star signal unlocked. Jack stood frozen. Star map uploading. Defense systems awakening. Prepare for contact. Luma collapsed. Jack caught her before she hit the floor. Her skin was cold. She looked up at him slowly. "I saw them," she whispered. "Who?" Jack asked. "My people," she said. "In the stars, but they're not safe. Someone's coming for them." Just then, boom. The cavern above shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Machinery sparked. Jack turned to the entrance. Another explosion. "Looks like Derek and his pet Psycho found a back door," he said. Luma stood weakly. "We have to go." "No," Jack said. "They want you. We make them come here." He moved quickly, placing small explosives at the entrance hallway. Then he ran a wire to a power terminal inside the temple. Luma blinked. "You're setting a trap?" Jack smiled. "You learn fast." Meanwhile, up above, Vera paced the broken bridge, furious. Derek walked beside her, holding a tracking scanner. "They're below us," he said. "Big power spike. They activated something." Vera narrowed her eyes. "The beacon." She looked to her soldiers. "Tell HQ the girl's making contact. We need a ship in the sky now." Derek added, "And send down the big boys. We're going in." Back in the temple, Luma touched the floating map. It showed stars, moving, changing. Jack stepped beside her. "What is that?" She pointed to a blinking blue light. "My people, a ship." Then she pointed to a red one. "Danger!" The red light was moving faster, toward the blue one. Jack's stomach turned. "They tracked your signal." Suddenly, the temple pulsed. A voice filled the air. "Backup arrival in 4 days. Protect the Seedbearer. Engage defense protocol." Jack looked around. 4 days? We can't hold them off for 4 hours. But before he could speak again, the lights, dimmed footsteps echoed down the tunnel. Jack raised his gun. Showtime. Vera's soldiers entered first. They moved slow, careful, weapons up. Boom! Jack's trap exploded, sending fire down the hall. Screams. Metal clanged, then silence. Jack grinned. Classic. But it wasn't over. From the smoke, a tall figure walked out, not human. A mech suit, red eyes glowing, plasma cannon spinning. "Damn it," Jack said. They brought an iron brute. The mech fired. Jack grabbed Luma and dove behind a pillar. The wall behind him vaporized. Luma looked scared. Jack grinned. "Don't worry. I've got something for big, stupid robots." He reached into his bag, pulled out a metal disc and chucked it hard. It stuck to the mech's leg. Beep, beep, boom. The mech stumbled, but didn't fall. Jack's eyes widened. That was supposed to work. Vera and Derek entered behind the mech, smug as ever. "Still, trying to play soldier, Jack?" Vera called. "Just hand her over. Let the galaxy sort itself out." Jack shouted back, "She's more human than you." Vera smirked. "Good line, but wrong war." She raised her hand. The mech fired again. This time, Luma stood up. She held out her hands. The blast stopped midair. Jack blinked. "What the?" The plasma ball hovered, crackled, and then shot back at the mech. Boom. This time the mech fell hard, smoking. Vera froze. Derek whispered, "She can bend energy?" Luma's voice was calm now. "Don't touch Jack." The temple shook again, but not from outside. This time from below. Something deep beneath them was waking up. Luma turned toward the center platform. There's something under us. Jack looked down. A panel slid open. Stairs, spiraling down into the unknown. Jack looked at Luma. It's your call, kid. She nodded. We go. They ran down the stairs as Vera's voice screamed behind them. After them! The stairs led to a chamber full of floating machines. A giant sphere hovered in the center. Inside it, an image flickered. A young alien, blue-skinned like Luma. Same glowing eyes. It was a message. To the next seed bearer, if you are seeing this, we have fallen. Our enemies came not just for war, but for our light. They feared what we could do together, so they tried to erase us. The voice cracked with emotion. But we left one spark behind. You are the last, and you are not alone. Luma was crying. Suddenly a panel on the sphere opened. Inside, a small orb glowing bright. Jack frowned. What is that? Luma picked it up. As soon as she did, her body lit up. Veins glowing, hair lifting, eyes shining. Jack panicked. Luma, you okay? She nodded slowly. It's a memory core, it's part of me. Then her voice changed again, 2 voices at once. Connection complete. Defense AI linked. Guardians unlocking. Above them, the temple rumbled. Lights shot into the sky. Above ground, Vera looked up. What the hell is that? Derek checked his scanner. They activated something global. Like a signal going to orbit. Vera's eyes narrowed. Then we've run out of time. Back underground, Luma swayed, weak from the link. Jack caught her. She whispered, We need to protect this place till my people come. Jack nodded. We can do that. You and me. Luma looked at him. Not just us. She pointed to a screen nearby. It showed 3 green lights, other beacons across the planet, now active. Jack smirked. So we woke the whole house up. Then a new voice came from the speakers, one Jack had never heard before. Human Jack, Guardian units inbound. Prepare for coordination. Jack looked at Luma. Did that thing just give me a job? Luma giggled weakly. Then she said something Jack didn't expect. Thank you. Jack smiled. Don't thank me yet, Star Kid. The real war just started. Above them, in the dark sky, 3 beams of light shot upward, sending a signal across the stars, far away. A fleet moved, alien ships, glowing, ready to return. And behind them, a shadow, a new enemy, bigger than Vera, bigger than humans, something that had been watching all along, waiting. And now, it was coming. The girl who wouldn't run. Smoke filled the temple's halls. Alarms buzzed, lights flashed red. The AI's voice echoed cold and calm. Security breach in Sector 5. Life signs detected, Guardian compromised. Jack wasn't moving. He lay on the ground, blood dripping from his side, his rifle bent and sparking beside him. Luma crawled toward him, coughing. Jack! No answer. She placed her hand on his chest, still breathing. Barely, but he was out cold. Luma's heart thudded like a war drum. She had never felt so alone, never felt so angry. She turned. Standing in the doorway, framed by firelight, was Vera, helmet off, hair slicked back, eyes hard and cruel. I told you, little spark, Vera said. He's not worth saving. She walked toward them, gun pointed straight at Luma's head. Luma stood up. Small, fragile, but unmoving. I won't run, she said softly. Vera smirked. Brave, but pointless. Behind her, Derek appeared, dragging 2 damaged Guardian drones. His scanner beeped constantly. The memory core is still active, he said, and she's synced to it. She is the key. Then we take her, Vera said. Now. Suddenly, the chamber lights dimmed. The AI spoke again. Warning. Hostile presence near Seedbearer. Activating Guardian trial. Derek frowned. Guardian, what now? The ground shook. The lights snapped off, then flicked back on, but the room had changed. No doors, no exit. They stood in a massive dome, floating platforms and glowing orbs rotating slowly in the air. Vera looked around. What is this? Luma stepped forward. Her voice echoed around the chamber. This is my trial. The AI confirmed. Trial of the Seed-Bearer. Begin. A beam of light shot down, surrounding Luma. Symbols floated around her head. Suddenly, Vera's gun turned to ash in her hands. Derek reached for his own. Gone. What the hell? No weapons allowed, the AI said. Only truth. Only choice. The first orb floated down to Luma. It glowed blue. Peaceful. First test. Mercy or revenge. A vision shimmered inside the orb. Vera holding Jack's unconscious body over a cliff, laughing, letting go. Luma's eyes filled with rage. A second orb glowed red. Choose. Save her. Or end her. Everyone froze. Even Vera looked nervous. Luma trembled. She looked at the red orb, then the blue. Jack had taught her something. Real strength isn't about hurting others. It's about choosing not to. She reached out and touched the blue. The red orb vanished. The AI spoke. Mercy chosen. First trial, complete. Suddenly, the floor under Derek split open. He screamed and dropped into a shimmering pit. Gone. Vera shouted, Derek! But he didn't come back. Second test, leadership. The room twisted again. Now it showed other kids, alien children, crying, hiding, just like Luma once did. You are not the last anymore. Others will follow. Will you protect them? Luma nodded. Yes. Then act like it. The floor began to crack beneath Jack's body. He was slipping toward a deep hole. Vera moved to run for him, but the AI froze her in place. Only she may save him. Luma ran. Jumped. Grabbed Jack's hand just as the floor broke apart. He dangled in the air unconscious. Her small fingers dug into the edge. Her arms shook. You cannot carry him and pass the next level, the AI said. Let him go, or fall with him. Luma grit her teeth. Tears poured from her eyes. Then she screamed, I won't leave him. Her hands glowed bright white. The AI paused. Override detected. Seed-Bearer's will too strong to break. The trial stopped. The floor reformed. Jack's body was pulled to safety. Vera stood there, stunned. You beat it? Luma didn't answer. She stood up straight, taller than ever before. Her voice rang clear. I don't run anymore. Suddenly the walls dropped. They were back in the temple chamber. The AI's final message echoed. Trial completed. Seed-Bearer confirmed. Full access unlocked. A massive crystal rose from the floor. Jack stirred, groaning. Luma rushed to him. You're okay. You're okay. He blinked. What? Did I miss? She smiled. Everything. But Vera wasn't done. She grabbed a shard of metal and lunged at them with a scream. Bzzzt. The temple's defense grid activated. A bolt of pure energy froze her in place mid-air. The AI stated coldly, Aggressor neutralized. Suggest off-world exile. Vera vanished in a flash of blue light. Gone. Silence. Jack sat up slowly. You saved me? Luma nodded. I passed the trial. Jack looked at her shocked. Proud. Looks like I'm not the hero anymore. Luma smiled. We both are. They returned to the central platform. The crystal now hovered with symbols orbiting it. Jack asked, What now? Luma looked at the stars above. Now, we call them. She placed her hand on the crystal. A beam of light shot into the sky. Far above, in deep space, on the edge of a dying solar system, 3 ships blinked to life, alien, sleek, glowing, and inside one, an old alien woman gasped. Her eyes lit up. She's alive, she whispered. The seed has grown. The beast below. The crystal beam vanished into the sky like a sword of light. Luma stepped back, breathing heavy. Her glowing skin faded, returning to soft blue. Jack placed a hand on her shoulder. "You did it," he said. "You called them." She looked up at the stars. "I hope they're still listening." Far below the temple, the ground trembled. But this time, it wasn't just tech waking up. Something far older stirred, something alive. Jack and Luma stood at the central control platform. The Guardian AI hovered silently, then spoke. "Full system online. Seed bearer verified. Memory vault open. Final truth available." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Final truth?" The room darkened. Suddenly, the floor split open and a massive hologram of the galaxy filled the chamber. Stars spun. Light pulsed. And then, darkness bled in from one side of the map. A shadow. Eating light. Consuming planets. "What is that?" Jack asked. "The Unmaker," the AI said. "The first predator. It came before machines, before memory. It devours stars, consumes knowledge, erases everything." Luma's eyes widened. "It came before?" The AI replied, "Your people tried to contain it. This world is the prison. Your ship, your escape, was a failsafe. You were never just running from war, seed bearer. You were sent away to protect the key." Jack slowly backed away from the map. "You mean this whole time we've been sleeping on a monster?" "Correction," the AI said. "The monster is waking. Beneath the surface, deep within the core of the planet, something opened one eye." The ground began to shake. Sirens flared. "Warning. Containment breach. Unmaker resonance detected. Recommending full planetary evacuation." Jack looked at Luma. "Can we shut it down?" Luma shook her head. "The prison is failing." Suddenly another signal pinged. The AI displayed it. A human ship. Vera's backup. A battlecruiser. Fully armed. "Incoming enemy vessel. Estimated arrival 6 minutes." Jack groaned. "Great. Monsters below, maniacs above. This day keeps getting better." Luma looked at him. "We can't let them near the core. If they damage it, boom," Jack guessed. She nodded. "Planet-wide boom," she confirmed. They raced through the temple halls. Jack contacted the Guardian network. "Are there any defenses? Can we stop the ship?" The AI replied, "Surface cannons online, but they require manual targeting." Jack turned. "I'll handle it. You get to the vault. Find the memory. Find the weapon." Luma looked scared. "What if you don't make it back?" Jack smiled. "Then I expect you to blow something up in my honor." She gave a nervous laugh, then hugged him. "I'll see you soon." Above ground, the battlecruiser broke through orbit. Its engines screamed as it descended. Inside, human soldiers prepared to deploy. Vera's second-in-command took the lead. "No sign of Vera or Derek," the soldier said. "But the target's still transmitting," the captain replied coldly. "Then we capture it. We can sell whatever's left." Meanwhile, Jack climbed a crumbling ladder to the temple's top spire. Exposed to the wind, the sky above glowed with alien light. He reached the cannon controls. "Manual override accepted," the AI said. "Please do not miss." Jack smirked. "That's a lot of pressure." He targeted the ship, fingers dancing across holographic dials, lasers charged. Down below, Luma entered the memory vault. A massive stone room. Walls covered in ancient markings glowing softly. A pedestal rose in the center. Floating above it, a shard of silver light. The final memory. She reached out. "Seed bearer, are you ready to remember?" the AI asked. Luma closed her eyes. "Yes." Flash. She stood inside a memory. Her planet, alive. Blue oceans, twin suns, her people, peaceful, advanced, beautiful. Then the sky turned black. A storm, a scream, a shadow that blocked out the stars. People vanished like dust. Her parents ran with her through a burning forest. Her mother whispered, "You are the seed. You are our last light. Hide it, guard it, grow." Then the memory cracked. The last image. Her parents sealing her inside the escape pod, tears in their eyes. Luma opened her eyes, sobbing. She wasn't just a girl. She was a living vault. And inside, her, a single command. A weapon her people never dared to use. Back at the top of the spire, Jack fired. The laser streaked across the sky, slamming into the battlecruiser's shields. Boom! A fireball ripped through the engine. The ship buckled, spiraled, but didn't fall. "Target damaged. Second strike required," the AI reported. Jack cursed. "Gimme a minute." Then, the ground split open. Below the temple, the rock peeled away like cracked skin, and from beneath, the Unmaker rose. It wasn't a creature, it was a force, a mass of swirling darkness and light like a black hole given shape. No eyes, no mouth, just hunger. The AI screamed. Containment failed. Emergency override required. Only Seedbearer authorized. Luma raced through the crumbling hall. The ground shook. Walls collapsed. She ran past fallen drones through fire and smoke, her tiny legs burning. Jack saw her from above. "Luma, don't—" She didn't stop. She reached the platform where the Unmaker now hovered, sucking in light. She raised the shard of memory. It floated, spinning, and then sank into her chest. Jack screamed, "No!" But it was too late. Luma's body lit up like a star. Her voice became thousands of voices. She hovered above the ground, arms out. "Unmaker," she spoke. "You took my world. You will take no more." The Unmaker pulsed, but it paused. It heard her, and for the first time in eternity, it hesitated. Inside her mind, Luma stood before it. She wasn't afraid. "I'm not alone anymore," she said. Behind her, images of her parents appeared. Jack. Even. "The kids from her vision," she whispered. "I am not a seed anymore. I'm the forest." And with that, she released the memory. A burst of ancient light shot through the darkness. The Unmaker screamed. It began to fold in on itself, shrinking, fading, sinking back into the planet's core. Not dead, but asleep. Now Luma fell. Jack sprinted and caught her just before she hit the ground. Her skin was cold again, but her eyes opened. "You okay, Star Kid?" Jack whispered. She smiled. "I'm tired." "You've earned it." Above them, the battlecruiser, badly damaged, tried to flee. Jack grinned. "Let's give them a goodbye present." He hit the cannon one last time. Boom! The ship exploded in the sky. Fireworks for the galaxy's smallest warrior. One last star. The planet was quiet, for the first time in centuries. The Unmaker slept. Its dark shape had sunk deep into the molten core, sealed once again by ancient tech and a little girl's courage. Jack and Luma sat on the edge of the temple's highest spire, watching ash fall like snow. Jack's arm was bandaged. His face cut. His heart, he didn't even know where it was anymore. Luma leaned against him, her breathing steady, her glow, dimmer now but still there. He glanced down at her. "So, what now?" She looked up at the stars. "They're coming." Above the world, the stars shifted. 3 vessels blinked into orbit. Sleek, silent, powerful, alien ships, her people. They had returned. The Guardian AI's voice chimed across the temple. "Seedbearer. Extraction party inbound. Identity confirmed. Family tie. 94.7% match." Jack squinted. "Wait, did it say family?" Luma stood up, wind in her white blonde hair. She nodded. "My aunt," she whispered. "She's the new speaker." A small, silvery shuttle descended from the lead ship, cutting through the clouds like a sword. Jack stared. Part of him felt relief. The other part, felt hollow. The shuttle landed with a soft hum. The door slid open. Out stepped a tall alien woman, blue-skinned, dressed in ceremonial armor that shimmered like liquid stars. She approached Luma with slow steps, eyes wide with disbelief. "Luma," she said softly. "You're alive." Luma ran into her arms. They embraced. Jack stepped back quietly. He wasn't part of this scene. Not really. Then the woman looked at him. Her eyes were sharp, protective. "You are the human who kept her alive?" Jack nodded. "Tried my best. Failed a couple times, but she didn't let me quit." The woman studied him for a long moment, then bowed her head slightly. "For that, you have our thanks." Jack gave a quick salute. "Yeah, sure." He turned to leave, but Luma reached out. "Where are you going?" Jack didn't look back. "Your people are here. You don't need me anymore." Her voice cracked. "That's not true." The alien woman stepped forward. "She is chosen now. She must train, lead. She cannot go with you." Jack smirked. "That's not my call." Luma walked up to him, held his hand. "I choose you." The silence that followed was heavy. The alien guards gripped their weapons, unsure what to do. Jack looked at Luma. "You sure about this?" She nodded. "You saved me," she said. "Now I want to save others, but not without you." He smiled. "Damn it, kid. You're gonna make me soft." Suddenly, a new signal flashed across the temple's systems. The Guardian AI's voice returned, sharper now. "Alert. Unauthorized vessel entering orbit. Identification, human. Type, war class." Luma's aunt turned sharply. "What?" Another ship appeared in the sky. Bigger, meaner, not from Luma's people, not from Jack's friends either. From the alien fleet, a message came through. "They followed your signal," the aunt whispered. "Others, pirates, smugglers, scientists. They want her." Jack stepped forward. "How many?" The AI responded. "Too many." Luma looked around. "They'll destroy this place. They'll take the Unmaker if they reach the vault." Her aunt whispered, "Then we must run." Luma shook her head. "No." She turned to Jack. "Can you still fight?" He grinned. "Thought you'd never ask." The alien fleet split into a formation, shields raised, weapons hot. Jack ran with Luma and the guards down into the temple, into the command center. He looked at the maps. Multiple ships incoming, some landing, troops already deploying near the vault. He cracked his knuckles. Time to bring back the boom. On the battlefield, alien soldiers fought side by side with Guardian drones. Jack led ground defenses, shouting orders, dodging blasts and flipping switches like a man with a death wish. Luma stood in the center of the control platform, arms raised. Power from the memory core flowed through her again. She lit the sky with pulses of light, each one blasting enemy ships out of orbit. But the more she used it, the more it drained her. Her aunt begged her to stop. "You're burning your life. Force!" Luma looked at her, then at Jack, then back at the stars. "I'm not the last anymore," she said. "So I can give everything." Inside the temple's deepest level, the enemy reached the vault. Jack was waiting. One last charge pack in his hand. He set the detonator on the vault door. One enemy commander approached, aiming a rifle. Jack smiled. Surprise. Boom, the vault collapsed in a storm of rubble. No one would reach the Unmaker again. Back on the surface, Luma stood tall as the last enemy ship broke apart in the sky. The battle was over, but she was fading. Jack ran to her. She collapsed into his arms. Her skin flickered like dying starlight. "No, no, no," Jack whispered. "Come on, kid." Luma looked up at him, eyes glassy. "I don't want to go." "You're not," he said. "Not yet." He looked at her aunt. "Save her. You've got tech. You've got magic. Do something." Her aunt knelt beside her. "There is one way." A chamber was activated in the temple, an ancient healing pod. Not just physical, it could store consciousness, restore it over time. a kind of living sleep. Luma was placed inside. Jack stood beside her. She touched the glass from inside weakly. "I'll come back," she said. Jack touched the same spot. "I'll be waiting." The pod closed. Lights faded. Silence. Weeks later, Jack sat alone outside the now empty temple. He had stayed behind, helped bury the dead, helped repair the land. He was a soldier again, but also something more, a guardian. One day the pod would open again. One day Luma would wake. Until then, he looked at the sky and smiled. "One last star," he whispered. "Still shining."